This is a behind the scenes video for exclusively all my members in the Passive Income School community. This is a video about me kind of explaining new features in our YouTube tool that we're utilizing, and also some of the different tips and tactics that I'm currently doing for my businesses to create more passive income online. I've shared this before to both my community and my public YouTube channel, where I've kind of mentioned that I'm creating more YouTube channels to create more passive income, and channels in all kinds of different niches. And it's something that I'm deciding to take a lot more seriously. So you'll get to see some more insight. If you're personally deciding on creating a YouTube channel, this video might potentially help you, might even give you some ideas or spark up some ideas. But like I said, this is for all my members who I would typically privately post this in our members area for the people who are currently doing YouTube, who are currently building various channels the same way I am, as various different passive income flows, and just kind of explaining the process. So like I said, if you want to see this video, enjoy it. If you have questions, let me know, and I'll see you soon. Let's let the video roll. So we've been adding new features to YT Studio Pro, and so I'll share some of those features. So here we have the channel analysis tool, which is essentially you just put in the channel handle just like this, and you get to see different stats on that channel. So from growth projections, which are powered by AI, to some reviews, to video ideas based on your current video ideas, to the top 10 content pieces that you posted, to the content pieces that you have high engagement. There's a lot that goes into this, right? So first thing is we have this chart that literally just absorbs all the data from your channel and sees the different, outlier. Well, I don't want to say outliers, but it's just a chart that paints a picture of how your channel's going and how different videos are posted. So like you could see here, for example, there's this video here, and this video pretty much done better than most videos. And you could see how many likes it has, how many comments, how many views. The nice thing about this is it will take in the last 50 videos on your channel and kind of map them to how they look at a current date, right? So let's say, for example, I'm a YouTuber and I am looking at my channel here. It did well here, it did well here, but I might look at those videos like outliers. I might not want to pay attention to them. I might want to pay attention to the videos that did really bad and try to figure out why, like this video, or this video, or this video, right? The videos that have the lowest amount of engagement, the lowest amount of views, and just kind of study them and know what not to do. And the truth is like I said, being a YouTuber myself, I don't know if I would call myself a YouTuber, but someone who creates YouTube videos, sometimes I create videos that I know they're going to do bad on purpose. I know that might sound crazy, but you have to sometimes sow within your audience. When I say sow, I mean from sowing and reaping, right? Sometimes it's not all about content. Sometimes it's an announcement you want to make to your channel, like go do this or go do that, or be careful of this, or something like that. Those type of videos, they're instantly consumable, and YouTube kind of wants high watch time. So a video that has higher watch time, it's going to get more views. If I have an announcement to make to my channel, and I prefer not to make it through a written post, and I prefer to make like a short 2-minute video, well, that video is not going to get much watch time compared to a 25-minute video that's an instructional how-to, right? So that's why certain videos do bad. But like I said, sometimes as a video creator, I know a video is going to do bad before it does bad, and I'll post it anyway because it's a message I want to put out. And that's sometimes, right? But sometimes I also make mistakes where the video really doesn't have much thought behind it, right? So, I'm human. It happens. But here's some performance metrics of averages, right? So every channel has this. You can search your competitors' videos. You can search your own. You can analyze things like, for example, your channel strengths. You can get recommendations, how you can improve, etc. And I like this part the most here. This part will show you the 50 most recent videos, right? And it will have little top 10 badges here on the videos that perform the best in that 50. Okay, so you can see here. And they'll perform good depending on different reasons. I mean, not all videos do well. Okay, so this one is currently arranged by views, but we can sort it by likes. We can sort it by comments. We can sort it by a lot of things. So I might look at videos like, for example, this one or this one, and say, wow, these videos are getting much more engagement than, for example, a video like this, despite its despite its high performance. Why is that? Well, I'll tell you why that is. If you look at the title on some of my videos here that perform really well, once again, it's consumable, meaning people take the information and they run with it. They don't need to comment. They don't need to ask questions. They just get the information and they move on. That's it. It's just that simple. And that's perfectly fine as a YouTuber. We understand that every video is not going to be a highly engaging video. It's purely just, value-based, where people get what they want and they move on. Very simple. Okay? The videos that have high engagement have this little orange border as opposed to like a purple border. And it will say high engagement, which is interesting, to say the least. But this is just the first tool that we've created. So we were busy this week. Next tool. So a lot of people know about the magic tool, where you can enter a keyword and you can get questions based on it to help. So for example, if you're a YouTuber in the keto pizza niche, let's just say, I'll hit generate and it will generate different questions based on keto pizza. So you can see here all kinds of different questions. Keto pizza, is it really as good as the real thing? Keto pizza dough disaster. I mean, these are examples of different YouTube videos that you can write. All right, so that was another one. Where's the next one? Transcript analyzer. So this one is something I'm currently working on improving, but essentially you upload a transcript from a video. And how do you get a transcript? Very simple. Any YouTube video you go to has a transcript. So let me actually do that now. Let's go over here. Let's go to YouTube and let's pull up a video. So for example, how to shed your dog. I don't know. How to clean your dog's hair. De-shed. There we go. Right? So I'll click on, for example, this video. I'll pause it. And I'll just go here to the link. And I'll click here, by the way, and see if there's a transcript. Yeah, there's a transcript, right? So this is a transcript here. So I'll go here to Transcript Downloader, YouTube. Okay. Pull up the first one. Paste the link. Hit extract. Okay, so private browsing is not supported. Let's go back here to this. Let's type in transcript. Let's do it here. Let's paste. And here we go. Let's go ahead and hit download here. Let's hit download transcript. So we have our transcript, and the way this will work is I'll just upload the transcript right here. So I'll click on that, and there we go. We have the entire transcript. Now I'll hit analyze. And as it's analyzing, we're going to see different kinds of things, right? Okay. So here, you can see here, based on this transcript, what can you title the video? Boom. Based on the SEO transcript, the SEO aspect, what can you title the video here? So you can choose whether you want an intrigue video or an SEO titled video. Remember, in my past videos, I talked about the importance of either intrigue or SEO, right? You pick what video you want to start off with. That's not to say that you can't have both. I'm not going to go over the whole process, but I'll just leave a link in the description where you can watch that whole concept, right? Visual enhancement recommendations. So here, you can actually edit your video to add in different visuals and add in different audio improvements. So sometimes, as an editor, I might look through my video and be like, this is going to take me too long to go through this. Let me just post it, okay? But instead, I could just go through right here and just take the advice of telling me what to do. So at the 27-second, add a short, subtle effect, like a worried sigh, to emphasize the potential concern of excessive shedding. Boom, right there. And it will explain what it wants me to do. Very, very simple, very easy, right? Which is huge for editors. I mean, you can take, and by the way, we're sitting here grabbing a YouTube video that's already posted. Ideally, you would do this with your video that has not yet been posted. So you take your video, you upload it to YouTube, you don't publish it, you wait for it to grab the transcript, and you do the whole thing with it, get this information, and then re-upload it properly, deleting that old version. Here's some YouTube chapters that you can get from it. So you upload the chapters, and then here's the video description plus those chapters. Okay, so if you want a description, you can add it. And the description is powered through SEO, so it's not powered through SEO. That's the wrong way to say things. It is inclined to have some SEO features there. And here's just some recommended tags, which we're going to correct to remove that little hashtag. But I think we actually did correct it. We just have to deploy that feature. But yeah, this is how far we got here on this tool so far. And let me show you the next tool we've been working on. So we have the YouTube Assistant here. The YouTube Assistant is just your friend to ask questions and communicate, like literally like a chatbot that you can ask and gain information from. So I could say, hello, I have a question on what's better long term. Is it evergreen content or content that is trendy and highly shared? Now, obviously, if you saw my video on that, you should probably already know the answer. But even though it's not really a question, but it will kind of go through things and explain things, give you the pros and cons, and it's trained through a lot of the different information that I provided through it. So a lot of the different information that I personally believe and that I personally experienced on YouTube, it's trained through that. But that's not to say that it could have a little bit different results. But not to mention YouTube Assistant, somebody you could talk to who's an expert on YouTube. Okay, a machine. Next. We went through the transcript analyzer. Let me try to figure out if we do have anything else. Did you guys see the content calendar? I'm not sure. But the content calendar is where you can type in a title, type in a description, and you could do this multiple times and then hit generate content ideas, and it'll come up with content ideas. We have an actual version of that that is powered by our machine here called AI Research. So I believe this is AI Research. We have so many tools here. There's so many tools. It's kind of hard to wrap your mind around it sometimes. But so for example, if I type in how to make money online, we can do wait, this might not be the tool, but we'll show this one anyway because it is new. We'll do a quick analysis just for the sake of time, and we'll hit Start AI Analysis. So what it will do is it will pull up 20 of the top videos on YouTube, and it will search how to make money online related to this topic. It will take in all the data for those videos. It will take in the descriptions, the titles, the transcripts, the duration. It will take in all that kind of stuff. And then it will present its study back based on that. So instead of you sitting there and making charts and studying all this kind of stuff, it does it for you. So notice, it gives you the views, thumbs up. We have to fix the comments here because for some reason it says 0 on all the comments, which is not the case. Just a little code issue. We'll fix that. It's not a problem. But you could see here, now it's giving your recommendations based on what it's seen. So if you're trying to make a video in this exact niche, which by the way, I do recommend that you experiment with both general niche and specific. This is pretty general. You know, how to make money online is pretty general. There's millions of ways to make money online. I'm exaggerating when I say that. There's probably hundreds of ways, right? So you can export the data any way you like, but you have video ideas, you have trends, you have, you know, analysis, keywords, all kinds of different things that you can jump into. All right. Now, what is the next thing? We went over the thumbnail outlier. What else is there? There was this one tool I wanted to go into here. Let's see. No, this is not it. All right, so the next tool here is, this is a tool where we're going to grab data from multiple channels. So I'll show you what I mean. So this channel is called Immortal Minds Conversations with Soul. So I'm going to take this channel here, and there's a similar channel here called The Wizard Liz. I mean, she has a very, very famous channel on life advice, I guess you can say, for women. So I think it would be overall good to use as an example. So let's go here into the YouTube Studio Pro. video analyzer tool, and let's test this out. So we type in here, Immortal Minds, Conversations with Soul, and then we'll click here, another search, and we're going to do 30 videos each from each channel, and we're going to type in The Wizard Liz. Now you can do this with multiple channels. You don't have to do this with just one, but I'm doing this with 2 as an example. Okay, and I'm actually going to add at The Wizard Liz here because I want to specify what channel, because there's a lot of people who make videos on her. So, you know, let me just add at here. Not to say that there's other videos that can emerge, because it just depends on how powerful those videos kind of push through that veil. All right. So we have a whole bunch of different videos here. You can see here the blue is matched with the Conversations with Soul, and the green is matched with The Wizard Liz. And you can see here her videos do pop up, right? So I was specific on whose channel it was, and her videos do pop up. And we have here these top 10 marker controls, and you can see her video is a lot bigger than his, so we'll say top 10, top 10, top 10, but I'll select which ones I want to use. So we have here, Stop Doubting Yourself. This video has 4.4 million views, so click on this. How to Stop Being Lazy and Pathetic, I'll click on that. Let's see what else here. Time to Get Confident, no. This one is good. Heartbreak and Failure is Your Superpower. Spoiling Man Will Never Go Unpunished. I think that was pretty funny. Let's see what else. I just thought that was a funny title. Probably has nothing to do with anything, but, you know, thought it was funny. Let's go ahead and click on this one. Click on this one, this one, and this one. I'm not even reading anymore. Just at this point, I'm just clicking to show you. So now that we have these videos clicked on, what next? Well, we're going to analyze them. These are, I believe, 9 videos that I clicked on in total. And it generated video ideas based on those successful ones. So what this is this is similar to that last tool, but this is a much more confined approach and a much more specific approach. And I like that because you get to select from creators or keywords that you can very, very specifically choose from, which helps. So like, for example, we have 15 total videos. We have this one called The Crash Out, How to Avoid Self-Sabotage, which is actually pretty good because it's almost like a hybrid between both creators' content, right? Here we have Unlock Your Potential, The Secret to Manifestation Revealed. It's not a bad video, right? So basically what this is doing is the AI is kind of understanding both content creators as audiences. Why do I say audiences? It's because these videos that are selected are high-viewed videos. That means YouTube takes them in and puts it out there to a ton of people. And YouTube is only going to do that if the video has a reason to be sent out, if that makes sense. And YouTube has these different parameters that studies these videos. So, for example, watch time is a big one, where YouTube will look and say, oh my God, there's so many people watching this video in this niche. Let's push it out to more people who are interested in this niche. That's why sometimes when we say kill by the sword, die by the sword, well, in the case of, you know, not religion, but in the case of real life in YouTube, if you're in a niche and you grow because you're in that niche, it will be the same niche that limits you. In the case of The Wizard Liz, like her channel, it's all self-development, and she's in this niche like for women, so she can speak to a huge variety of people, which is partially why her videos get so many views. In fact, if you were to make videos in the exact same niche, you'd do phenomenally well as well. Now, you might not get 4, 5, 10 million views a video, but you might get 40,000 views, you might get 20,000 views. Whereas if I'm making a video on, like, you know, Pokemon, maybe not Pokemon cards, but like Legos and stuff like that, I might get a low amount of views because there might not be nearly as much people who are interested as compared to this niche. Does that make sense? So you see all this content here. These are all different content ideas that relate to these specific audiences, not just the channels, but the audiences, because we're selecting from the successful videos, which, by the way, when we selected 30 videos each, we're selecting the successful ones here. We're not selecting the last 30. We're selecting the successful out of the channel. Notice here how I selected one with 56,000 views, one with 15,000 views, 24,000 views, right? So that's something to keep in mind. And I can add more than one creator here. I can add more than one keyword here. I can type in, like, for example, the keyword self-development. Now, self-development, if I add this to the case, you'll see here, it will change my results. So here we have Soul Immortal, here we have The Wizard Liz, and then we have here random self-development videos from all kinds of different creators. So is it a bad thing to look at this? No. It's just you have to understand which kind of setup you're going for. And once you do that, sometimes a good topic can really, really outperform any kind of highly edited or very good video that you make. Sometimes the topic can, outweigh things. And you got to remember, I'm not an entertainment type creator. So I don't create videos to entertain people. I'm not creating pranking videos on YouTube. Like, that's not my niche. My niche is, for the most part, education, because, education is just my personality type. I'm not the type of guy who can sit here and, do prank videos and, that's just not me. So if I'm going to do the education type videos on various different niches, I have to put myself in a position to think, okay, education videos in general are not widely spread. If I make a prank video of me, like, let's say, slapping some random guy at a Costco and laughing about it and running away, that video could get 300,000 views overnight because it might be funny to some people, or it might be inflammatory. People might be so pissed off, they're going to comment, I hope you die, I hate you, you're terrible, whatever, right? But if I create an education video on how to build a website, there's not nearly as many people who are interested in that. They're not going to get entertainment out of it. So you have to understand niche as well. It's like niche is a huge dependent on your success. All right. And so lastly, to wrap it up, whenever I get all that data, I then want to kind of see, in some circumstances I might start with this, but I might want to just get that data and just see, okay, are my ideas right on something? So for example, if I search how to make money online, right, and I have a certain idea in my head about this keyword, I might want to analyze things like the search volume, the CPMs, how much money I'm making, the trend, what's the competition looking like, all these kind of different data points. Now, obviously, how to make money online is not a keyword that I personally would go after, but in those specific circumstances that I kind of showed before, yeah, those are things that I would personally look for. A lot of the times, there are many components that make a video on YouTube good. A lot of people might look at a video that has 400 views and think it's a bad video, and that's not necessarily the case. You have to really question what was the purpose of that video. Sometimes the purpose of the video is to get affiliate sales. Maybe it's not to get a lot of views. Sometimes the video is to set up a sale, right? So, for example, if I'm going to sell a $100,000 product, for example, like Grant Cardone, who sells an investment firm, right, where you can invest in his real estate, you're not going to be able to make a 5-minute video and attract regular people, meaning people who just work regular day jobs like nurses and doctors and teachers, and then convert them on a $150,000 investment. That's not going to work. It will never convert, meaning they'll never be a customer. They'll never sign up to invest in the firm. So how can you do it? Sometimes you have to curate these ideas that are setups. And when I say setup, I don't mean something conniving or evil. I mean, how do you prime the consumer's mind to get the sale? How can you set them up for the sale? Meaning, how can you put them in a position, perform mental mind frames on them so that they can understand where you're coming from to logically make the investment, right? So if I was Grant Cardone, for example, and I was selling people on joining my $150,000 investment fund, right, to invest in real estate, and I have a motivation to get people invested, I'm not going to just target people with lower income. I'm going to target very specific people, and I'm going to send very specific messages. I'm going to look at who the customer demographic is. I'm going to want to say certain things, which I'm not going to talk about here, but we talked about this in our WAP community in the copywriting side, right? So if you're currently in the copywriting campus, you probably already watched that content, but if you haven't already, go back and watch it, and if you forgot, go watch it again. But there are very certain things that you have to think about before presenting that. So not all YouTube videos with high amounts of views are good, And not all YouTube videos with low amounts of views are bad, right? They have very specific purposes behind them. So sometimes if it's a small niche, like, for example, one of the niches that I'm in, which is, how to upload images to Adobe Stock, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, there's no magic to it. And I've spoken about this on the Autopilot Passive Income YouTube channel, where there's no magic to it. It's literally you're creating AI images, you're using an AI software to title, tag, and do whatever for you, and you make money on the back end. That's all it is. There's no magic, there's no complication, there's no difficulty. So do I have to really set people up in order for them to believe that message? The answer is no, because it's so simple. It's not something that if I was to tell people about, they wouldn't believe me. It's not something that they would call a scam, because these people who watch those videos, they have brains, they have minds, they understand where I'm coming from when I say, hey, you create an AI image, you post it, you let AI tag and title, the AI is doing most of the work for you. It makes sense to them, and I show proof, I show different sales, I show different things that, kind of show them. So it's not really, and those videos don't go crazy. They don't get 30, 40,000 views. It's live by the sword, die by the sword. You're kill by the sword, die by the sword. That's the niche that I'm in. And that niche is going to get, let's just say, a maximum of 1,000 views for an A video, A- video. It's going to get 1,000 views. I might end up with 800. I might end up with 600. I might end up with 1,000. But, that's pretty much all I'm going to get. Versus if I go to a different niche, right? Like one of the niches that I mentioned in the members area, right? Like I said, you guys are in the members area, so just go to this section here, right? So the, where was it? Am I losing track of myself? It's pretty late. But no, this exact post, just scroll down and you'll see it, what niche I'm talking about. That's a different niche that's going to be a lot more profitable, right? And it kind of makes sense to set people up more because it's a $4,000 product. It's a $4,500 product. And in some cases, for my competitors, it's a $35,000 product. So there's going to be more setup there. And like I said, you don't need many views to get a sale because there's a certain demographic that's looking for that product. When I was talking about those red light therapy beds, that cost literally $45,000 per customer for a sale. If I get a 10% commission on that, that's a $4,500 product. Now, usually a commission for a product that size is about 15%. So 15%, you're looking at what, over $6,000? I think it's like $7,500 or something for a product like that. So I can make a video, get 400 views. Some rich guy who lives in the Hamptons clicks on my video, sees the one that I ordered, right? Sees a video of me laying down on it, talking about how I feel, how it's helped me, and I share my experience. He reads one of my blogs right after, right? But how did he get to meet me? He met me through my YouTube video that had 300 views on it, right? But because it looked authentic, because it was somebody who truly had real experience with that $45,000 red light therapy bed, he clicks the link, he buys through my link, right? He doesn't even think about it. He doesn't understand that maybe he understands that somebody's getting commission, but he doesn't even think about it. And I end up with a $7,500 commission, and he ends up with a $45,000 red light therapy bed from somebody he knows he can trust because he's in the market for that product. So when you look at a video like that, right, and let's just say I've made 10, 20 sales from that, what's 10 times 7,500? That's 75 grand. What's 20 times that? That's 75 times 2, which is 150 grand. If the channel, let's just say, had 250 subscribers, a lot of people would look at that from the outside and say, that's not a winning channel. That's a bad performing YouTube channel. It doesn't make that much money. It makes no money. The creator's probably broke, but really, the person is racking in the cash because it's not about the views. So this is my little message to everybody, not only showing some of the new tools on how to use it with, YT Studio Pro, but more importantly, how to understand that, your tool, this tool that you guys have access to, is a tool or an arsenal. It's like a secret weapon that almost nobody has access to. Only the people in this members area. and or the people that know of it, rather. And, you know, most people are just concerned with, like, basics. Oh, like, how many views did the video get? But you have to think in new parameters. You have to think it outside the box, in a new dimension, right? Everybody's concerned with how many views, how many subscribers, you know, when that really never mattered. I mean, it matters if you're doing entertainment videos, like I said, of like a prank video where you can't sell a product, people don't look at you as an authority, you have no respect in your consumer's eyes. But if you come from a position of authority, you come from a position where you know what you're talking about, you purchase the product, so now people trust you. Now all of a sudden people are going to look at you and say, you know what, I trust this guy. Imagine, guys, if I was doing videos of like my Porsche GT3 RS, right? And my videos get 400 views a video. So what? I'm talking to people who are very, very specific into Porsche 3GT RS, right? And they look at that car and they say, okay, how do I change the oil on it? Or how do I replace the battery? Nobody would ask those kind of questions had they not had the actual car. Does that make sense? So even if my channel gets 300 views, I'm accessing people who are rich, just like me, who have access to a $600,000, $300,000, $400,000 car because they're the few people who are looking for those specific answers. Does that make sense? And so if I have access to them, in the future, I could provide them some sort of value, share my experience with something valuable, and I can make money off of it. So for example, if I say, you know, if I make a video on that very same channel talking to the same people about, you know, different tires that I got for my car, but I supposedly have an affiliate link to those tires, and those tires cost $8,000, then people might be like, okay, I might purchase these for whatever reason. And if they purchase them and I have a 20% commission, I mean, you could do the math on that, but the point is, right, is that you don't have to do things the hard way. It's not always about getting views. It's not always about struggling. It's about being a sniper. And, you know, in some niches, it doesn't matter if you're a sniper or a shotgunner, because some niches are so low profit that it doesn't even matter. It doesn't make a difference, because you're not going to win regardless, because you have to really be able to think about those niches, because some niches are not going to make you money, but some niches are extremely profitable, and it depends on the niche. So you just have to find those niches, but tools like this kind of help you do that, and they're not for everybody. You know, some people are not into making YouTube videos. I was talking to somebody the other day, and he said, you know, I don't want to use my real voice, which is understandable, you know, for some people. And thankfully, there are tools for that, right? So hopefully this video helps. If you have questions, let me know in the members area. Message me, text me, whatever, and we'll talk soon. All right? Peace out. Bye.